Easter chicks yesterday, everyone, were amazing. Thank you to everybody who sent them to us to show us. And you can always send us your pictures because we love seeing them. So today, it's Tuesday and we've got a really lovely lighthouse today. I think that you're going to really enjoy doing this, breaking it down to all the simple shapes and then decorating the background however you want. So let's get drawing. Okay, we've got loads of straight lines in our picture today. So what we were doing last week is lots of curves, but today we're going to be doing lots of straight lines. Now what I want you to do is start off, hold your pencil. This is just our warm-up sheet here. We're just going to throw this away. Hold your pencil quite close as if you were about to write, as if you were going to write your name. And now try drawing a line. And what you'll find drawing a line, pressing hard and holding low, is you just can't get that straightness. So what you need to do is move up slightly, move up so you're about halfway up the pencil, hold it really, really lightly, and you can get a really lovely straight line. Now, if I use my wrist like this, because it's a curve, isn't it? It's going to give us a curve. So it's about really holding that hand really quite solidly like this. Now, I used to really struggle with lines, drawing straight lines. So what I used to do, what I did for about a year, was every morning I would just practice drawing straight lines over and over, turning the page every day, just for a minute or two, just drawing lots and lots of straight lines. And it's just like anything, like playing a musical instrument, it's just the practice, and the more you practice, the better you get. So have a go every day, a few straight lines like that. Okay, let's move on to the drawing. So we're going to begin by thinking about where we want to put our lighthouse on the page. I'm going to place this really centrally, but you could have it off to one side or the other side. And think about how big you want it to be and think about where you want the top to be. I'm going to go for about here. So about 2/3 of the way up. I'm going to, in the middle here, I'm just going to do a small line, and that is going to be the top. Then we want lines coming down at a slight angle. So if we went straight, they'd be coming to about there. But we don't want them straight, we want them out just a bit. So go to where you would have them straight and put a little dot to where you want them to go. Now, I always have to just turn the sheet to be able to do straight lines. I can only do them at one angle. So there's my first line. And there is my second line. So it's a really, really basic shape to start with. We've just got the top line and those two lines. If you're really struggling with it, just grab a ruler, but see if you can do it first without. And then at the bottom of this, what we're going to have is foliage, like trees and bushes and things. So it's like we're imagining that we're looking at this coming in from the sea and that we've got some trees growing around. So just little curvy lines, and we'll take them down to about there. So just a few simple shapes to start. The curvy lines that are going to form the trees and bushes and the lighthouse. So we're going to put in the top now, the top bit of the lighthouse. And what we've got here is coming out a bit. You see just out a bit there. And we'll take that up and across. So one long rectangle, and then coming in, so it's in further from that on both sides. There we go. We've got another rectangle, and then we're going to have a triangle on the top. What drawing is putting together a series of shapes. It doesn't really matter whether you're drawing a face or drawing something that's obviously shapes like this lighthouse. Everything's all about the shape. So that's the top. And I want you to come back, and we're just going to put in a little bit of water here around the bottom. Okay, and there we go. So this is the last bit of drawing, and we're just going to put in a few details. So now we've got a tiny little circle there and a line coming up. And then just put a semicircle in here, which will form the light of the lighthouse. Now we're going pretty conventional here with our decoration. We're going to go for some stripes. So 1, 2, 3, So putting the stripes in, and then a little door here at the bottom, maybe a small window there, and another small window there. And then in, just to finish it off, a few small lines which will form our trees here at the bottom, and that is your lighthouse. So you can take this now, if you've got pens or pencils or crayons, take this, colour it in, you can create a really fabulous design behind it. As well, you could do an interesting sky, you could do, if you imagine cliff tops coming around it or different things, have some birds flying, but make your own amazing design. If you've got paints, stick with us. I'm going to show you a few different techniques to really create quite an interesting little painting. So I'm going to paint mine today just using some watercolour pencils, and you can see I've got a couple of greens, a yellow, red and a blue and a black. I think that's possibly a brown, so let's swap that over, and a black. Now, the key to painting really often is the paper you paint it on rather than just the pencils that you use. So we're using a watercolour paper, so if I hold this up you can see it's thick, and it's got a slight bump on it, and that enables when we put water on it, it lets the water sink in. If I do that on ordinary paper, so this is just a piece of ordinary paper like you would use in a photocopier, or if I go like that on here, it works. The pencils, the watercolour pencils turn to paper, but the paper can start to buckle slightly. So the more, if you can get proper watercolour paper, use it. If you can't, just use whatever you can get hold of. We have had loads of messages from people trying to get watercolour pencils or trying to get paper, and we are putting things in so that people can order them from us. So just keep tuned, go to our, keep following us on Facebook, and we will let you know when we're ready to have a few of these packs ready to sell to you if you want to buy them, but just use whatever you can at the moment. Now I'm going to start here with this red, and I'm going to go around here and colour in, and then I'll do the same with this one and with that one. If you can hear a strange noise in the background, as well as Elizabeth laughing while she's filming this, it is because we have a dog, and our dog is he wants to come in, so he's getting a bit upset with us at the door. He wants to paint too, but Cooper, you can't paint. Right, so I'm going to just take a brush now and a little bit of water, not much here, and turn this into paint. Oh, these are just fabulous. The way that they just put the paint pigment onto the paper. They look like ordinary pencils, but they're not. They're so clever. Here we go, and then that's the last bit of red there. This won't take long to dry at all. It's going to be quite quick, so I'll show you, because what I'm going to do now is go into the bottom bit. I'm going to use the paints really lightly here with some green. Then I'm going to take the dark green and go around the edges and create it as if it's some nice trees. Now, if you want to put flowers in there, gorse bushes with lovely yellow bits of yellow, you go ahead. This is your painting. Create it however you want. I'll take my brush again. Oh, didn't clean it very well. Did you see that bit of red that came off? So it's turning the edges slightly to green, but not too much, because I want to keep it like that. And okay. And then we'll come back in, pop a bit of water in the bottom here. Now, if I just go round, it will be quite light, but if I add, the more paint I put onto the paper, by paint I mean this what's here, the marks, the pencil, thank you Elizabeth, the pigment. Here we go, and that'll give us some nice water. Now if I wanted, I could also just take that out, so I've not got anything on my brush there apart from water. And can you see I can get that effect then, just by taking it out. It's a very calm day for this lighthouse today. Now I'm going to take the yellow and pop in a little bit of light. I'm not going to turn that to paint, I'm just going to leave it as it is. And then go do the edges here with a bit of blue. So that's 1, 2, 3. And I'm not turning this to paint, you can see I'm just going over it. Now I'm going to finish now with a little bit of black around, and I'm going to do the windows and the door. Now the very last thing is a little line up there, and we've got our lighthouse. So hope you enjoyed that, and we'd really like to see your lighthouses. So you can send them to us on our Facebook page, Little Art School Scotland. Just go into the comments, make sure you post us your pictures of lighthouses. We would absolutely love to see them. So tomorrow we've got a special little treat for everybody. We asked you what you wanted, and you told us what you wanted, and what you said was unicorns. So tomorrow we've got unicorns, and just on the off chance there's anyone sitting there going, unicorns, don't worry, we've got dinosaurs too. So we will see you tomorrow, all lessons available from 11 o'clock.